Yeah, the 80s was really where it's at. You know, the 80s is really where it's at. You know, the times that kids are coming up nowadays, you know, it ain't like the old days. You know, people just like they're copying off everything. You know, nowadays it's like they're copying. You know, it ain't like it was. Like I said, it ain't like it was. You know, and nowadays it's just people ain't doing enough. You know, I mean, back in my day, you know, I was a big shot. I mean, you know who I am? You know, I'm a Frank Hertz. I'm Frank Hertz. You know, I was a big shot. You know, back in the day there. You know, I'm making a comeback. You know, making my comeback. You know, that's what we're doing here. You know, now actually, you know, fun fact about me. I was the originator of the Studio 54 idea. Okay, but of course, you know, my original idea was Studio 45.
Are you kidding me about that right now? He's still holding on to that? Frank's so full of shit, man. Look, he didn't even go to New York till 81. Studio 54 was open in 77. He would have been, what, 14 then? Goddamned idiot.
They're just, you know, reproducing the same old thing that people like me and others that I knew from back in the day, like what we were doing, you know?
I gotta know one thing. You guys called me last week and set this up. I agreed to do it, because again, sometimes you like watching that human train wreck, but why the hell would you guys do a documentary on Frank Hertz?
You know who I am? I'm Frank Hertz. Smoke break. Real quick, get some fuel going in these lungs. We set up? We ready to do a thing? We
Yes, Mr. Hertz.
ready to go? Oh, what do you want to know? What do you want to know? Hey, you know what? Never mind. I'll just tell you what you need to know. It's no big deal. You know, I'm Frank Hertz, you know, legend in the making. You know, most people tell you about me. It's, you know, my name goes across the board there. It goes across the board. Let me tell you something, you know. Now, you know, back when I was growing up in Boston there and in West Roxbury, Massachusetts, you know, we don't really need to talk too much about that. You know, the main point is that, you know, I got out of there. And, you know, pretty much, you know, about the early 80s, I want to say, you know, moved to New York, you know, opened up my own clubs there. And, you know, we were doing the thing. And, you know, I was running. And, I mean, I was there, you know. And
for years and years, Frank's been telling everybody about his meteoric rise in the New York club scenes.
You know, we did that for a good long time, you know. And, you know, no big deal. And, you know, I met a good number of people there, and
it was really a way for him to move away from his drug dealers in Boston.
You know, the one thing that I remember was that when I started getting into the music business, I started producing bands and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, my one buddy Pidgey, he'll tell you all about that. You know, in fact, I got a good story about Pidgey. You know,
back in my club days in New York, you know, he remembers because he was there. And
yeah, I think it was the bathroom of the Ritz. He had a pile of Coke and two girls that were more interested in the Coke than him. Yeah, that was the first time.
You know, he remembers how much of a big shot I was, you know, and he was kind of, you know, just hanging around, you know, trying to learn as much from me as he possibly could, you know, because, you know, I was something back in the day, you know, and, you know, that's what we're doing right now, and, you know.
So what can I say good about Frank? He has a very interesting mustache.
You know, unfortunately right now for myself, you know, I'm coming back. I'm coming back up on the up. You know, I just got kicked out of the, you know, the palatial pad that I was sitting up in, and you know, right now I'm just staying at a good friend of mine's nephew's his garage right now. You know, no big deal. You know, no big deal. You know, it's just a bump in the road. Just a bump in the road. You know, but you know, I remember with Pidgey, you know, he never believed that, you know, back in the day that I could get all the chicks that I said that I could get, you know. So there was this one time, you know, when I told him, you know, Pidgey, I bet you any money I could get any girl that you point to.
Frank invites me out to lunch that he was buying. That's never happened before, so I said, I have to see this. So we went out, and he decided to have a discussion about how sexy he was. And I say he had the discussion because I just sat there staring at the menu trying to figure out how to get out of there. So he finally convinced me that he can prove to me how sexy he is.
Let's go out to the bar. Let's go out to the bar. You know, and we'll go out there, and you know, I'm gonna prove this to you, buddy. I'm gonna prove this to you.
At this point, I thought it was pretty humorous, so I decided to go along. So we leave after I paid the bill. Walk down the street, and he wants to go into a bar.
So we go out to this bar, and man, I was just proving him wrong all day long. I'll tell you what.
I walk in the bar with him. It's a gay bar.
He couldn't even believe it. He couldn't even believe that shit.
Frank decides the way he can show how sexy he is by seeing how quickly he gets hit on in the gay bar. Unfortunately, of course, since he's straight and tells them he's straight, this starts a fight, which Frank runs out and leaves me there having to fight off.
So, you know, I proved him wrong actually many times, you know.
Yeah, Frank. Thanks, Frank.
In fact, there was this other time, you know, when I was running this studio. You know, I was running this studio, and you know, it was around 4th of July, may have been a little bit after the celebration, and I had a firework, you know, and I called up Pidgey and I said, you know, get over here, we're gonna really do something here, you know, this is gonna be mega.
Bro, you gotta come out. I got a firework.
So Pidgey comes over. He was delighted to come over, of course.
Trying to stay out of it because it's Frank.
You know, so we lit this thing off, and it was...
So I go out there, and Frank decides that this massive mortar tube thing he bought that's like the industrial size for, like, you put this on a barge out in the ocean before you light it off in case. Yeah, he's going to light this off behind his studio. So he realizes it's not real stable, so he decides to cross-brace it. Except he doesn't cross-brace it because he can only find one piece of a pallet, so he puts one board underneath it and nails it to it. Yeah, he's hitting it with a hammer, right? You getting this? So he sets it up. I get about 300 yards away because I know what's about to happen here. Frankie lights it off. Poof! First one goes off perfect. Second one goes off slightly this way. Third one goes off slightly more this way. And now it's completely fallen over and shooting mortars directly at his studio, hitting the wall, blowing the place up. Frankie and the firework.
It was a big, spectacular thing, you know, and we always refer back to that one as the firework, you know, because those were good times. Those were good times, you know. I mean, I got a lot of stories with Pidgey. That's for sure, you know. You know, actually, you know what? Ask Pidgey about the what are them called? The LBFMs.
Frankie came back from Thailand telling me his new term he picked up over there. Overseas they called it little brown fucking machines, but Frankie turned it to little brown Frankie fucking machines. Because, you know, he's that kind of guy.
Ask Pidgey about that one. He'll tell you all about that.
Still wondering whether or not he meant male or female, but, you know, I don't think Frank cared. He once told me just to make sure that they could have a period. That was all that mattered. And I said, why, Frank? He goes, well, because then they're at least 13.
Yeah, in fact, speaking of girls, you know, there was this one time.
Wonder if he remembers this story, because he might have had a few. He showed up to my buddy's show at a bar. End of the gig, he's talking to two young ladies that are very pleasant women. Could have stood to have maybe lost a few pounds according to the American Medical Association, but, you know.
We was out at the bar, and there's two beautiful looking girls, you know, and I was just hamming them up. You know, because...
So Frankie leans over to him after talking to him for a few minutes. He says, hey, I don't normally like fat chicks, but you two are okay. To which, surprisingly, the two young ladies did not appreciate the comment.
And they was all about me. They was all about me, you know, and I did my thing, and, you know, and ended up going home with them, of course, you know, because, you know, the girls, they're on me. They're on me all day, every day, you know what I'm saying?
And when Frank realizes, he tried to correct it by saying, no, it's okay. You ladies aren't really that fat. And as you can imagine, things did not go good from there, so I quickly left as he was getting hit with a couple of high-heeled shoes and smacked pretty good, but it was an interesting night. Hope all is well, Frankie.
And, you know, but once Pidgey kind of started getting into some stuff, and, talk about my brother a little bit. My brother, actually, there's a woman that I met and I married, and her brother, who ended up being my brother, he's a big rock star, and we were doing this thing, and they were trying to get one of their tracks into a movie premiere.
Frank, hey man, we gotta get this in the movie. We gotta do something. We gotta do something with this song because it's coming up. And I said, well, Frank, man, here's a good idea. The simplest thing I can think of. Night of the opening premiere, why don't we set up and have the band play at the theater? We get the news stations out, local band, big movie.
And, I called up Pidgey and I said, what we need to do is get this thing on this movie premiere. Let me do it. I'll take care of it. No big deal. Something must have happened though, because I don't know, I called up Pidgey and I said, I think I got it taken care of, and
what's Frank do? Calls me Saturday, the day after the premiere, and says, I think I got it worked out. I figure out who I need to talk to, man. I'm gonna call him Monday.
The production company screwed something up because I had it all taken care of, and they screwed it up. But we didn't end up getting a song on the movie track. Too
little, too late, Frank. As usual.
So it wasn't my fault though, and the guys knew that. They were okay with it. So I mean. A lot of stuff with Pidgey. And, so once I got to, I had right around the 90s is when things, the 80s were the time. The 80s were really the time. Once the 90s hit, things kind of changed a little bit. Had to kind of switch up the game plan a little bit there, because, people just change, people change. And, pretty much, people will say, that Frankie, he's a great guy, but, it's true. It's true. I'm a great guy. What can I say, And,
Frank and I met years ago, probably about 20 years ago. We met at a engineering firm. I worked in the office and he worked out in the warehouse. And we started dating. We didn't tell anybody for 6 months, and then all of a sudden I got pregnant. So it had to be told.
I wouldn't say too much that I don't got too much family, I got a few broads that I married, and, they're still breathing down my neck about stuff that I don't have no time for. I just don't got no time for that, and, but basically this one girl that I married, she was a doll, she was real good, and,
like I said, we met at an engineering firm, and Frank was living in his mom and dad's basement because he had already been, married with some other one supposedly. But yes, living in the basement. So then I meet him. He comes over. We went on a date, and he never left. Never left. And my brother's living with me. So what the hell? Is the guy, like, going to pay some money to live here or what? But that was Frank, you know. Then he'd go get his drugs and come back and live for free and mooch off us.
Yeah, but things, you know, we partied too much, and, you know, she always wanted to hold on to the blow.
We were out hanging out and stuff, and we actually had Coke. You know, we bought what you call of Coke, whatever it is. It's and a little baggie it was he got. So anyhow, we're fighting over who's going to hold it because I knew he would do it all.
Look, woman, you know, let me do the thing. You know, I got this taken care of.
So yes, we were fighting over the Coke, and it turned into a big old argument. So no more of that stuff was around from between him and I, but he did it on his own and stuff. But yes, and then he got into the Vicodins and the prescription drugs and all that. So that was a little bit more important than, you know, spending money on his kids and spending time with them and all that. And with the drinking, and so Frank's just, you know, Frank, and he'll never change.
So, you know, with her, you know, that didn't last. You know, I really don't, in all honesty, I don't remember how long it lasted because it must have not been that important, to be quite honest with you. So, you know, we, what was her name? Roxanne, that was her name. And, you know, I call her Roxy by short. You know, she never really liked that too much. But, you know, I like doing the thing, like giving people nicknames. You know, I think it's endearing. It's endearing, you know. Like, people like that, you know, makes them feel special. You know what I'm saying? And
then Frank, okay, let's get when kids get older. And we're been divorced and that, but Frank just doesn't want to, you know, put his contributions in. His child support things is, you know, that's supposed to pay for everything, and I'm supposed to have a savings account for both of them. So Frank's just really selfish, and even to this day, as his kids are older, he's still selfish.
So her and I, you know, once we split up, you know, and then she started coming at me saying, you know, you got kids, and, you know, I pay the child support. You know, I don't know nothing about that. You know, I don't know. I always pulled out. You know, I always pulled out. There's no way that she could have got pregnant. You know, so I mean, you know, personally, she's lying. You know, and you know, I don't really got too much more to say about that, because it's a touchy subject. But, you know, you live and you learn, you move on.
Don't know where Frank is and haven't seen him, and I don't think anybody's really seen him, except for the drug dealers.
And, you know, there was a few times there, you know, I got a little sick, you know, with the booze in and you know, a little bit of the cocaine, of course, you know. But that was the thing in the 80s. That's what everybody did. Nobody thought it was a big deal, you know.
He's just been off his rocker, just totally off the rails for weeks.
So no big deal, you know, but at some point everybody started telling me, hey, you know, you need to go to rehab. You're sick, you know, what's wrong with you? You know, and I was just saying, hey, I'm having a good time, you know. I'm just having a good time, no big deal.
We didn't see him for 2 or 3 weeks, and all of a sudden, come walking out of our hotel one morning, getting ready to get in the van, and here comes Frank, spinning like a ballerina up the street. I said, Frank, what are you doing? He says, I'm going dancing. And he just kept going down the street. Next thing I know, we hear he's now completed his 3rd day of rehab in Germany.
So, you know, I've been pretty successful with that.
Frank is the only guy I know who can honestly say he's done 28 days in rehab. There were 28 single days spread over probably 20, 25 years, but he's still proud. Did 28 days. He's cured.
They you know, they say, you know, you go into the, what is that called? You go into the rehab there for, you know, the 28 days, you know, and I'm going to tell you, I've been successful with that. Very successful. Like I've been successful with most things in my life, you know. 28 days, 1 day at a time, you know. I've done it, you know, and, you know, but people kind of, they still, you know, breathe down my neck about it a little bit, you know, and I don't understand that too much.
Pretty much the guy's addicted to rehab or addicted to being addicted. I'm not sure which, but something's wrong with him.
The way Frank did it, though, he said he was going for 28 days, and he'd go in for a day and then go do something else and not even come back home. So that's how he did it. He was out 1 day in, 1 day out, 1 day in, and that's how Frank did it. That's how he was with his family, 1 day in, 1 day out.
You know, there's been a few times where, you know, wrongful arrests, you know, the cops, they give me problems, and then they say, you know, we got to take you away, and then you know, and you know, everybody's got a dark place in the past, you know, everybody's got a dark place, and I'll be the first one to admit it, you know, but I don't know. There's really, not too much I could say on the whole drinking and jugging because, like I said, I did it. 28 days at a time, I did it. I got it. I'm cured. And I'm cured. So I'm good. And look at me. I could drink. It's no big deal. Whatever. But,
Remember years back, he married a friend of mine's sister because, well, he was a fairly well-known rock star. So Frank figured if he could get in somehow, anywhere, grasp at that straw. Ends up marrying his sister. God knows how she fell for it.
So tell me a little bit. How do you even know Frank?
Well, he's family. Frank. So originally, he and my aunt were married. So I guess I kind of had to put up with him because he was family. I didn't really want to. Frank's kind of an asshole, to be honest with you. It's just how Frank is. But, yeah, I mean, he's just family.
so, once I married this other lady and, this is how I met, her brother had a son, Stevie, him and I was real close when we was when he was nice and young.
Well, Frank and my aunt were married for, I think like 5-6 years, something like that. All of a sudden, Frank has a new wife.
Her and I, we got along a little bit, but her brother who was, the rock star, him and I got along real well.
Frank always had a thing for my dad. It's like I kind of think that that's actually the reason why he got together with my aunt. When he heard about my dad in the band and everything like that, he wanted to put himself in that type of situation. But, yeah, man, we would go to these shows and Frank would just be like, yeah, that's my brother. That's my brother. All the time, to everybody and telling everybody that my dad was his brother. My dad fucking hated that. He didn't want to deal with it at all.
All right, so what do you think about Frank Hertz?
You want to talk to me about Frank?
Yeah.
Come on. I can't believe this shit.
Helped out with the band a lot with him, went out, I tried to go out on the road with them a few times, but, they had a lot of people working with them, you know what I'm saying? So I always stayed back behind the scenes and kind of made sure things was going good. And, fun fact about Steve was, when he was young, his dad, my brother, was out on tour there, and, Stevie, he wanted to get in this soapbox derby thing, and...
Soapbox derby? You really want to hear about that?
So, I mean, I said, yeah, Stevie, I'll help you out, no big deal. You could see they really wanted to do it, so...
I think I was about 9 at the time. My dad was actually on tour with his band, and I really wanted to participate in this soapbox race that we had going on my street, and I mean it was a really cool event. All the kids around kind of got involved. It was really cool, but I needed somebody to actually help me put together a soapbox. So Frank, I mean, he helped me out, which I thought was cool, because he doesn't really like to get involved with that sort of thing.
I ended up helping him do the thing, taught him a little bit, taught him what it meant to, be a man and build something from scratch, you know what I'm saying? And
he helped me out. He helped me put together this really fast soapbox, it was awesome, and we ended up winning. And, I mean, I was 9, so I was, super excited to win and get that trophy and show it off.
So we entered this soapbox derby, and, it went really well. We ended up winning, and of course, they gave the trophy up, because, I showed Steve, how to do it, but really, he's a little kid. He don't know how to swing a hammer, and, so I did most of the work, so I felt that it was only necessary that, I accepted the trophy, of course, So, after, I had a little fun,
Well, as soon as I was about to go grab it, Frank grabbed it and started running around all the neighborhood kids who lost, and he did like a victory lap around them.
So those good times, you know, when Stevie was young like that. You know, I used to have him come over the. I used to have Stevie come over to the house, you know, and stay the night, and you know that was always fun. We watch movies and videos and stuff.
I hate it more than anything when I was younger. Actually, going over to Frank's house, as he likes to call it. It's a trailer. I mean, small trailer.
Like I said, I've never had any kids of my own, of course. So you know, he was like a son to me. You know, him growing up, it was like being a father. It was like being a father, you know, and
he always had a thing for leather, pleather, probably, knowing Frank, but it always smelled like evergreen over there for some weird reason, or pine or something like that, a weird smell.
You know, I remember when Stevie would come over. He always loved playing with this. I had this sculpture of a Wolverine.
The creepiest thing though was, like, you would go to sleep at night and he didn't have any other rooms, so you would fall asleep on the couch, but he just had this like wooden Wolverine that he just kept in a corner that would just stare at you. It was crazy. It would just stare you down while you were sleeping.
He always loved that thing. He'd always look at it, you know, and he'd want to play with it. But I would say, that's a valuable thing. You can't touch that, little kid. You know, you can't touch that. You know, but I had the Wolverine because it was like, you know, living in Michigan at the time, you know, the Wolverines, the football, and all that shit, you know.
You would wake up in the middle of the night and it was just staring at you.
But I remember Stevie always came over and he was always looking at that thing, just kind of like, I could tell he just wanted to play with that thing, but I never let him because it was a valuable piece of merchandise, you know. So that's pretty much that, you know. Don't let the kids touch your stuff because they'll break it. That's how I look at it. So, but like I said, you know, I've never had kids before and probably never will, to be quite honest with you.
That was Frank. Didn't really know what was going on with Frank. So.
Then there was the Russian mail order bride. I don't think Frank realized, he's not supposed to mail himself to Russia to get married. Idiot.
So we're talking about Frank. You're asking me about Frank. Go on.
Where did you meet Frank?
Frank came to me in Moscow.
Oh, anesthesia. That was the one right there. When people talk about there's one person for everybody. She was the one. She was the one. You know, I met her. I met her on the what do you call that stupid thing? The intranet. The intranet. I met her. You know, we talked a little bit. You know, I went out to. You know, she was in Russia. She was in Russia, so you know, I got my shit together, and you know, I went over there to get her. You know, I went over there. And you know, apparently that's not how you're supposed to do things. You know, when you meet somebody overseas like that, you know, what is that called? What is that called? Mail order bride. You know, apparently, you know, I figured it'd be romantic or something. You know, go over there, you know, woo her a little bit, you know, and then bring her on back over here, you know, do the thing, you know, whatever.
He emailed me to be, you know, on point. He emailed me telling me, come to America, I make you big star. Big star. I could see stars in my eyes when I thought of Frank.
She wanted to be a movie star, and you know, that was pretty much what really kind of sparked her interest, you know, in maybe coming to America because you know, she had heard about me, of course, and you know, I got to talking to her, but you know, I know people, and I can get you in the movie business, and we can, you know, start doing things, and you know, so she was real excited. She was real excited to come over and, you know, get to acting, you know, because that's really what she wanted to do, you know.
When I got to America, we had much fun, nights on end, wrapped in white satin.
You know, so when what is this? Is this beer empty? That's good. It's good. Okay. You know, so when I had, when Anesthesia came to America, of course, you know, I wanted to do something special for her, of course, you know, because, hey, I'm Frank. That's what I do. I do things, you know, and, you know, so I took her to Las Vegas, and,
We got married, and he took me all the way to Las Vegas. I thought, oh, let's go Casino. I mean, we let make money. Maybe I get the scabbard. You know?
You know, we went, took it to a nice little chapel there. So nothing too big, you know, nothing too fancy. Intimate though, intimate. It was nice, you know, and you know, pretty much, you know, went to the chapel, got hitched, you know. It was nice. It was real nice.
We went to this little cheap little chapel. There's this Elvis man shaking his humba.
You know, then we did a little bit of gambling and, you know, did a little bit of partying. Of course. Well, a lot of partying, actually, to tell you the truth.
You know, Frank, he might not be much to look at, but he is great, passionate lover.
Got a few hookers, you know, did a little bit of the foursome. That was a good time. Let me tell you something else there. You know, but, that was good. And then we got out of there and, you know.
Time went on, and I asked Frank, I come here as your older bride. You tell me, Anastasia, I make you big star. I look up at the stars, I look every night, but never happened. There was love in my heart, but I would never became star.
But, you know, ever since that, you know, it was nag, you know, all the time. She wanted more. So, you know, I don't got too much more to say about that. You know, it is what it is, you know.
I ask him, listen to me, I do very good passionate voice when I zoom myself. But he said, no! Wait a couple more months until I take you to interview and casting call.
She ended up complaining about, you know, I wasn't doing enough for her and I wasn't giving her enough. And it was like, you know, I'm giving you everything you need, lady, okay? So just, you know, back down a little bit. You know, give Frank some time to just do his work. You know, but she never would, she was a little overbearing at times, let me tell you.
Time went on, and I was thinking to myself, Frank is just another one of those assholes, and how do you say, peeps they have back in my country.
You know, we was just partying like crazy, just, you know, she always loved the Frank. She always loved the Frank. I tell you what, she ain't gonna find a better man than me ever. I tell you what.
Oh, don't get me started. I will never be with him again. Never. I love Frank, okay? Don't get me wrong. I love Frank. I mean, he looks deeply into my eyes and it fills my soul up with passion. But no, never again will I succumb to his desire.
All things come to an end, unfortunately. You know, all things come to an end. And, you know, we split up, unfortunately, you know, but not before Frankie showed her a little bit of the good times, you know. She had never tried coke before.
One time me and Frank went to club. And it was when we got married, okay? He took me to the bathroom. He showed me this powder on the table. I said, I am not begging for you. I never said I would beg for you, Frank. He said, no, Anastasia, put that in your nose like so.
That chick, I never let her do that again, you know?
I had the best party night of my life. And then I walked the corner and this man gave me this little white pill. I think it was white. It might have been a different color. I was, you know, a little bit. And then I partied for about 72 hours. Frank said, you woman, you are crazy.
That was like a bender. She went off on some kind of crazy bender. God damn it, these bowls are fucking cold, man. What? Why am I sitting in this fucking wheelchair? Why is this wheelchair even in his garage? This doesn't make any sense, but you know, whatever. It's not my place. It's not my place, you know. But you know, like I said, Anastasia, she was the love of my life. You know, I've been with many women, you know, and I'll never forget her. I'll never forget her because you know, she she touched my heart. She touched my heart, and
I left. What was the girl to do? I'm in a new country, America, full of opportunity. Vodka, throwing, better vodka, more expensive vodka than I have in my homeland.
you know, she ended up meeting some other guy, and you know, him and I had a confrontation a few times.
I met Nathaniel. He took me in. He showed me he was very poor looking, let me tell you, very poor looking. But don't matter. His heart was as big as a blushing waterfall, a pond, the widest river I have ever seen, turning into a glacier upon my country.
You know, I almost put him in the hospital, of course, you know, because, you know, fun fact about me, Frank is a scrapper. He's a scrapper. He won't go down without a fight, let me tell you something. And, you know, so, you know, that was the end of that one.
He gave me lots of good times, not through his, you know, but through his pocket.
So, you know what, guys, you know, I'm really feeling this right now. You know, obviously you guys have heard about me, you know, otherwise why would you be here, of course. You know, I'm kind of big. It's kind of hard to miss me, of course. But, you know, well, I think we could do something with this little documentary that we got going on here. You know, so maybe, you know, I got this band that I'm managing. Like I said, you know, I will, well, actually, to tell the story.
We were at one of my dad's shows one night, and I mean, I haven't seen Frank for 12 years or something like that. And I'm sitting backstage talking to my dad's road manager, Pidge, and
I was out of town for a little bit, you know, and you know, I came into town and went to one of my brother's shows, you know, and I caught Pidgey and my nephew Stevie. They was talking, and you know, I overheard, and of course, you know, I found out that Stevie's in a band.
so I'm talking to Pidge about, you know, recording the album and pretending he's not there because I didn't really even want to pay attention to him. And I just mentioned the fact that we were recording a song, and he just interrupts the conversation, you know, just to kind of find out, like, oh, I have a band now, so he wants to get involved with that.
Obviously, you know, they need a manager, you know, so obviously he's calling on his Uncle Frank to, you know, maybe manage the band. So, you know, I offered some help.
So, I mean, I talked to him. I was just kind of being nice and cordial and everything like that. And I told him about the band, and he asked me, like, where we practice. I told him that, you know, yeah, maybe you should come check it out one day. You know, I haven't seen you in a while. It'd be cool to hang out.
So maybe we do something like that. You guys come with me over to the practice there. I'm going to help these guys, maybe show them what to really do, you know, because these kids nowadays, they don't know what talent is. You know, back in the day when I was doing my thing, that's talent, you know, but these kids nowadays, you heard the music nowadays? This music nowadays is pure shit, okay? Back in my day, you know, like, well, bands like, you know, Chicago and, you know, things like that, you know, that was music. That was music, you know. But, you know, maybe take you guys over. We'll go to the practice, and, you know, I'll show you how I work, you know, and to get these kids, you know, I can tell, you know, Stevie's got he's got some talent in him. You can just tell when he's talking about himself, you know. So, you know, and help him out, you know, and you know, get him to the top, you know, get him and his, you know, him and his guys. You know, personally, I probably don't even need those guys. You know, probably just need Steve, you know, pretty much. But you know, maybe you guys come over. You know, we'll shoot the band practice, and you guys kind of see what I do. You know, as far as being a music producer. What do you think? You know, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I think so.
I hear he's trying to manage a band now. Good luck to them. God bless you, because, well, good luck.
I heard about Frank from Steve. He is Steve's uncle, apparently, and none of us really knew too much about Frank, except he was kind of an asshole, not really around the family too much. He had a wooden Wolverine that stared at Steve, apparently. That's the most we really heard about all of this. And, yeah, nothing would have prepared me, though, for what was to come at the practice. That blew my mind.
All right, guys, it's getting a little bit late right now. You know, maybe, you know, we go head over where Stevie's band's practicing. I forget their name. Something to call like O'Day something. O'Day, or you know, I don't know what it is, but you know, something stupid.
Getting Frank to leave was a task. It wasn't your typical bye-bye.
You know, but you know what? Could I gotta hitch a ride with you guys though? Because, you know, I'm having a little bit of car trouble right now, but, you know, just a hiccup in the road, So, yeah, you know, why don't we head over there and, you know, get this thing off of me. Yeah, we're done. We're good.
You know, I've always kind of figured Frank is like herpes. He just pops up at the most inopportune times.
All right, yeah, let's go on up to this house here real quick. You know, these guys, I know these guys pretty well, so. You know, when we do more of this stuff, I mean, this thing is going to be legendary, I swear to God.
When Frank first came downstairs, we knew he was coming over. You know, Steve had mentioned that somebody might be coming over to check us out, but...
Come on down here, okay? You know, the guys are waiting for us. You know, this is the new band I'm managing now. The name is, you know, O'Day, something like that.
And he just starts spouting out about, this is his new band. He's managing them left, right, going 50 miles per hour. Just, it was insane.
All right, you know what? You know, Karen, you stand over there. Craig, maybe you go over here, do this thing, and, you know, all right, guys, you know what? Go. Do the thing. Go on.
We just kind of went along with it because what do you do at that point? And we started playing, and almost immediately, Frank stops us.
Hold on. You know, Steve, that was great. You're fantastic, you know. What's your name?
Brian.
Okay, Brian. You know what? Maybe we need a little bit more of, you know, more of this stuff, you know, a little bit more of everything, you know what I'm saying? Get up real quick. Let me just show you. Real quick. Okay.
Finally, Frank just gets on the kit and, like a caveman, just starts bashing the shit out of these drums.
All right. Okay. Just more. You know, you're not doing enough. You know, just more. Okay.
So something like this, right?
And go.
Okay. Played the same exact part that he had played before when Frank stopped us, and sure enough, Frank thought it was amazing, and everything was back on track in the way he wanted it.
No, that was fantastic. Really like the way you chased that up there, Brian.
Yeah, right.
You know, Steve, once again, you're fantastic. You know, I don't know what you... We'll talk later. Okay, you know what, though,
Well, you know, immediately we all knew Frank did not like Dustin, and I don't know why.
Who are you, and, you know, what are you doing here, huh?
I'm Dustin, the bass player.
Now, keep in mind that we're at Dustin's house. You know, this is his place. We practice there.
You know what? Nobody really cares about the bass player so much, so I don't know.
Frank had no clue what bass probably was at that point. I don't even think he knew what it was, but he's...
Actually, bass is probably pretty important. I mean, you need a bass player in a band.
Nah, maybe not so much, you know, maybe just go stand over the corner or something, I don't know.
Just had no respect for him, and Dustin he was about to lose it. And it takes a lot to get Dustin pissed off.
Seriously, Steve? Like, what?
Sorry, dude, he just kind of showed up.
Hey, you know, yeah, maybe that's better, you know. Maybe that's better, you know. Just go stand over in the corner or something, you know. Play that, what's that thing called? Stevie, what's that called?
The root note?
Nah, I'm pretty sure it's called the main note, yeah. So why don't you do that, go over there, stand in the corner, do your thing, and just play that main note, because that's all we need, because really, the most important part of this band right here is my nephew Stevie, okay? So let's just get a grip, everybody. Let's get rolling, okay? Let's do this thing. Seriously, that guy comes into my house and tells me how to play bass. You know? That bass isn't important. Are you kidding me right now? Who the fuck does he think he is? Like, I've never met somebody who is so full of shit in my entire life. And I've met a lot of people that are full of shit. You know? Like, I feel bad for Steve having to even grow up with that guy. You know? It's just like, in all honesty, I'm glad that Nick could not make it to that practice, because if he would have, he probably would have beat the shit out of Frank. And no joke.
Yeah, all hell broke loose. It was bad.
Okay, you know, we're going to this place here. We're gonna do the thing. You know, they want Frank to come and say a few words and stuff. You know, so you know, we're just gonna go in there. They're expecting me. So we're gonna do this thing. And you know what, Karen? Park right here. If you could. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We can just jump out right here. Okay. Frank can't parallel park. You can't do that.
No, I can't.
I'm impressed right now with you. I'm impressed. Okay. You know, we're here in the, you know, like Royal Oaks, or so, how do you call it?
Royal Oak?
Nah, I'm pretty sure it's Royal Oaks. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So, you know, this, you know, whatever, you know.
What's this?
So, you know, they should be expecting me here. You know, I know they are. They called me last night. They said, you know, you're coming, Frank, right? You're coming, right? You know, so, you know, it's a pretty nice day out today. Not bad, okay. They would say hi to a few people, you know. They should know who I am, you know. Okay, let's see here. They should be expecting me here. Okay. All right. You know, hold on a second. I don't see my name on the billboard. They said they were gonna do that, but you know, it doesn't seem like anybody's here. They said to be here. You know what? Maybe I'll give them a call. You know, maybe it's the wrong day. It's probably the wrong day. Something. You know, probably the wrong day. You know what? Hey, let's go back to the car. And you know, one thing that I know about Frank. How you doing? How you guys doing? You know, one thing that I know is, you know, what we're doing here, Gregory, you know, this feels pretty good. Like I said, you know, we're shooting this documentary, and, you know, we could really do something with this. You know what I'm saying? We could really do something with this. You know, how you doing? You know, this documentary that we're shooting here, you know, this could be really good, because you know what? Yeah, even if this thing that right here doesn't work out, you know, this is going to be good. Because you know what? We're doing legendary.
Bloopers! Scoopers! Blooper! I'm in the threshold. Blooper!
I'm recording my way.
Oh, you're recording? I didn't know. I thought you were trying to take like a little beauty shot or something, you know?
Dude, you can't.
Seriously, Steve? Really? Are you gonna be standing where I am?
Yeah.
As Frank?
Yeah.
You probably look.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Them glasses there, or these glasses here. How do these look? Pretty good?
Yellow American Spirits and Coke.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not quite too sure about that. You know, maybe go stand over the corner or something.
This is good. 'Cause I knew he was gonna puke with the smell, so, but that's Frank, so there you go. Selfish again. Done.
We can get a photo of Frank outside of a church with like you go. Like sitting in a corner outside of a church.
I've never made myself throw up, but I will.
Do a little more of that. Do a little bit more of that, and all right, yeah, let's go. Go, do it. Come on.
I always had this like Wolverine in the corner.
Or do you Frank with some Daisy Dukes when he after the drums setting, he's a little homeless. Yeah. Daisy Dukes, white beater, some cowboy boots, big buckle. You know?
Fucking blooper reel. Ready to get going. Get you.
Wrong camera. It's okay. I mean, think about it. It'd make a great fucking metal tune.
And when I say face sweat, of course, I mean, you know, like bust a load all over it.
No, one Wolverine. I can't do it.